Now, I know that we never want to be prisoner of the moment. I know that one game don't really decide anything. But when it comes to James Harden, that brother got a track record. And last night, if you saw the look in the eyes of James Harden and Joel Embiid, them two men wanted no part of Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. James Harden is a guy like Russell Westbrook who has played with great talent good enough to go and win you an NBA championship, such as Kevin Durant. But James Harden wasn't the James Harden we know him to be today, back when he was with KD going to the finals. The Clippers blew a 3-1 lead against them in 2015, and the Rockets came back to win the game and went to the Western Conference Finals and got smoked by the Golden State Warriors, which was the Warriors' first championship under that regime. And then, I think the very next year, the Rockets had like an off season, but they were still able to make it to the playoffs as an 8 seed, whatever. They were not in contention. But then you fast forward to 2017, and James Harden is having an unbelievable season. And he doesn't have the Warriors to deal with in the first round. He beats triple-double Russell Westbrook in the first round. I believe that was the season. And then he loses to the Spurs in round 2. And the Spurs went on to lose to the Warriors, and the Warriors made it back to the NBA Finals. So Harden, and I remember this one right here in 2018. I was out here, we had just moved to Sacramento, and I told my roommate at the time that the NBA, the Western Conference Finals, would be Warriors versus Rockets, and I'm taking the Rockets to win in 7 games, and we bet it a round of golf, 9 holes. The loser would have to pay for the winner's round of golf. And the Warriors made it to the conference finals as they should have and as predicted by anybody. But the Rockets had the best record, and they made it also. And it was looking like I was about to be right. And it was so shocking to so many people who I gave this prediction to that the bet was just offset. It was like, dude, I didn't even expect the Rockets to even get to a game 7. Like, it was laughable to them that I would even say that the Rockets would take the Warriors to 7. And then when it happened, it was just unbelievable. And then, of course, the Rockets lost. There was no Iggy for the Warriors, but the main story was there was no Chris Paul for the Rockets. And had Chris Paul been playing, it would have been a lot different. But you fast forward to 2019, and Kevin Durant goes out. And now it's Harden and Paul versus KD and Clay. And the series is tied 2-2. And the Rockets lose the series. This is James Harden, ladies and gentlemen. So after this, he no longer wants to play with Chris Paul. We know the whole situation there. How you doing? And Chris Paul is up out of there, and Russell Westbrook comes, and we know what happens in the bubble. The Lakers completely tears them apart in the bubble. And it ain't been the same for James Harden ever since. Last year, they were in the semifinals against Milwaukee, and there was a Kevin Durant toenail away from even winning that series. But James Harden I know I just went on a long, probably for no reason with that, because we all know the track record of James Harden. But James Harden has a track record, and Joel Embiid is still unproven. But I think even Philly fans got to see a preview of what they may see in the playoffs. You know, they had a little honeymoon phase when he first came, and they was dominating everybody, and they was putting up points. But last night, it was personal for KD, and it was personal for Kyrie Irving. And the Brooklyn Nets, from the tip-off, showed the Philadelphia crowd and the Philadelphia players we ain't what you want. They showed them we ain't what you want. We ain't what you want to see. If y'all think for 1 second y'all can beat us, we about to show you right here in this regular season game that you are sadly mistaken. And I picked Philly to make it to the finals and lose to the Suns, but that game right there got me, have me wanting to change my tone, change my pick, because I know James Harden. My team plays in the West, the Lakers, and I've seen James Harden play a lot. Losing 4 times in 5 years to the Warriors, with the Spurs sandwiched in between. That's the real James Harden. And I think KD and Kyrie may have exposed that. Well, they did expose that. And I think Philly fans are looking like, damn, we may have another Ben Simmons on our hand. Only he can shoot. But can he make the shot when it counts the most? Can he give us that bucket in crunch time against this Brooklyn team, who are clearly the favorites if they are fully healthy and if Kyrie Irving is able to play on the road? Kyrie Irving took it upon himself to guard James Harden to show, hey, I may not be an elite defender, but I know your deficiencies offensively. I know that if he's like, James Harden is like, he's like what I always thought of Peyton Manning in football. All you have to do is build a lead on them, make them uncomfortable from the jump, just like Peyton in that Super Bowl against Seattle, and it'll be over from there. And Brooklyn knew that. KD knew that. He played with Harden. Kyrie knew that. He knows Harden. And one thing that the Philadelphia 76ers may want to do, if the Brooklyn Nets have to play from the play-in, Philly want to avoid that 1 seed. They want to avoid 1 through 2, stay at 3 if Brooklyn is a play-in team, because it ain't going to be pretty if the Brooklyn Nets, I mean, even for a team like the Heat or the Bulls or the Bucks, that is not going to be, and especially if Kyrie Irving is able to play ball, that ain't going to be a pretty thing for them to have to see the Brooklyn Nets in the first round. So they better hope a miracle happen. I mean, they're going to have to see them regardless. But they better hope that they catch Cleveland slipping and get that 6th spot from Cleveland or whatever it may be. I predicting Brooklyn will move all the way up to 5. And, I'm going to stick with that, of course, for the time being. But we'll see what happens. Of course, with the playoffs start, I'm going to do the official playoff predictions. But I just gave y'all in the previous video my predictions of what I believe the playoff matchups would be and who would win them all. But looking at that game last night, I don't know, man. I said Philly would beat Brooklyn in the conference finals, but James Harden is the one guy in basketball that when he shows, doesn't show up like he didn't do last night, he's the guy that makes me want to be a prisoner of the moment and just jump off my pick, because that was terrible. That was a statement game, and you knew Kyrie and KD wanted that game. They wanted that game, and they took that game. It wasn't even close. I mean, from the opening tip, Tobias Harris had the unfortunate pleasure of guarding a pissed-off Kevin Durant. And that's something you do not want to do. And they took it to him. And I really wish I could talk to Philly fans, diehard Philly fans, about what happened, because I think even they suspect this may not end well for us. Joel Embiid tried to get tough with KD, made him even more mad, pissed him off, and KD put it on him. Embiid tried, he really did try, but there was really nothing you can do, partner. Kevin Durant wanted that game. As far as Kevin Durant was concerned, that was game 7 of the Eastern Conference conference finals. And that was, that was a playoff game for him. But we'll see what happened. It was just like crazy to see that. It was crazy to see that. I appreciate y'all for taking the time to hear me out. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. Yeah, man, let's continue to grow this thing, and I will talk to y'all soon. Peace.